Without you, I'm just a seed in the ground with no water. I'd be like a flower that never blooms, a sun that never shines, if you weren't by my side. Oh, loving you is such a natural high that I don't ever wanna come down. All colors fade when you're not around. Oh baby, if I could, I'd write your name across the sun, so the world could feel the warmth of your love. Beautiful, cool, beautiful, cool. So many reasons why I love you. Beautiful, cool, oh, you know I do any and everything to keep loving you. My beautiful, cool. Never wanna wake up in the morning without you near me. Girl, I love the way you get my day started. Ooh, everything you are makes loving you so easy. Baby, my home is where your heart is. Ooh, if the sky didn't already have a name, I'd call it you. My beautiful, cool. I promise to love you till the sun shines at night and the moon decides to rise in the morning. My beautiful, cool, beautiful, cool. So many reasons why I love you. Beautiful, cool, you know I do any and everything to keep loving you. Just to keep loving you. You're so cool, yeah. Girl, you're so beautiful, cool, yeah. Girl, you're so beautiful, so cool. Baby, you're my beautiful, cool, yeah, yeah. So many reasons, baby, why I love you. You know I do any and everything, baby, to keep loving you. Oh, my beautiful, cool, my beautiful, cool, my baby, my beautiful, cool. My beautiful, yeah, yeah. I know that trusting God sometimes is a hard decision to make, especially when you're going through. All the more reason to pray and wait. You think your life would be so smooth after you're saved and you've come to know the truth. But God never said it would be easy. In fact, He said tribulations you will go through. And I'm telling you, this is what you ought to do. Give it all to the Lord and wait. And I guarantee passing by. The weeks turn into months and the months to years. Seems like you prayed and not a thing has changed. And at times your heart is filled with fear. But my brother, don't you worry, my sister, don't you fret. For God is not done with you yet, yeah. And even though the wind right now is blowing strong, God will give you the strength to carry on. I'm telling you, give it all to Jesus, to the Lord and wait. And I guarantee you'll see him through. Yeah. Yes, he will. If you just trust him, he'll make a way. Yes, he will. In this life, we're gonna cry some tears. Sing it, brother. Don't give up and don't you fear. For we've been made to this million too for a night, but one day soon, God will wipe away all the tears from our eyes. But you gotta wait and wait and wait on the Lord. You gotta pray and wait on the Lord. This is what you wanna do. Give it all to the Lord and wait. Give it all, give it all, give it all to him. If you trust in me, he'll make a way. You gotta learn. Give it all to the Lord and wait. Yes, he's able. He's able, yes, my God is able. Able, yes, 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 yes. Oh, wait on him, just wait on him. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up on wings as eagles.
Welcome to Metroworld Entertainment Television. I'm your host, Donald, Dr. D.R. Ryles. And today we have with us a very talented young man. He's a Renaissance man, he's a poet and an actor, and his name is Dee Sham. Welcome to the show, Dee.
Hey, thank you for inviting me. I'm glad to be here.
Glad to have you here. So as I stated, you're an actor. Tell us how you got started in acting.
Well, you know, as early as I can remember, it'd have to be in some Easter play or Sunday school, something as a kid. And I thought it was really neat to memorize lines or script and then perform it in front of people. So that's my early recollection of when I started acting.
Okay. And so now what is it about acting that appeals to you? Is it still the same thing, memorizing lines?
Well, I think it's changed. I think one of the things that acting does, it allows you to role play. Step out of yourself, become something you're not, a superhero, a villain, a husband, a father.
Right.
It allows you to step into a role, pretend for a minute, and then come back to reality. And I think that's neat sometimes to not be who you are from day to day and be somebody different.
Okay. So yeah, you could actually experience being another type of character.
Exactly. That's what acting does.
All right. Cool. So, do you have any formal training? Have you been to an academy or anything of that nature?
Yes, I've had formal training. Actually, in high school, I took 2 classes in acting. And also in junior college, I took a speech class, which had to do with public speaking, standing up before people and audiences. And those kind of things are helpful when you do theater. Now, when you're doing movies, I've done a couple of those. You make a mistake, cut, rewind, go back. In theater, you don't get that luxury.
No, sir.
You know, you make a mistake, you have to pretend like you didn't make a mistake. You have to add lines in that wasn't a part of the script. And so you have to really be a good improv. You have to improv very well.
Oh. So you actually do, so you actually add lines in like yourself?
Sometimes a good actor or actress, when you're doing plays, it could be, you could have had a crazy day. And of course you arrive early, you go over your lines. Sometimes thoughts that are in your subconscious enter into your conscious. So you might say a line or someone else may say a line and it triggers something else. And so you have to be skilled enough to include that, and then your co-stars, they have to be smart enough to know where to pick up on that cue. Now that's a trade secret that a lot of people don't tell you, but that happens in live stage.
Okay. So I have to keep that in mind. I'm going to look out for that next time I go to see next time I go to see a play. So now recently I did see you at a play at the Community Actors Theater.
Yes.
Big Daddy is here.
How about that?
Yes, sir. And you were Big Daddy.
How about that? you know, I went and auditioned for a backup singing part. And I got the lead. And so I was, okay, I was like thinking, you know, in my mind, what I thought Big Daddy would be. But it had to do with the history of Muddy Waters. And his persona and how he carried himself and how the ladies' man that he was. And so I had to step into that role and become that person.
And so what was it like working at the Community Actors Theater?
Well, I'm glad you said work. You know, theater is work, not like movies. Movies can be work. It can be long days, long nights. The meals can be, you know, very scarce. But theater is work. There's rehearsals during the week. Sometimes 4 or 5 hours rehearsals. There's singing. You have to memorize not only lines, as you saw in the play. I sung 4 songs. The director wanted me to sing 7 songs. The only reason I didn't want to sing 7 because I told her it would be like I would be in concert. And we had multiple singers, so we narrowed it down to 4. And so that's learning 4 songs. It wasn't in my genre, so I had to learn 4 songs from scratch. It wasn't something that you hear on the radio and you know half of the melody. I had to learn all these songs from scratch, and then all the lines that had to go with it. So it was fun, but it was work.
So that was your first time singing the blues, was it?
That kind of blues, yeah. My generation, you would call it R&B. But that was the blues.
The blues.
Yes.
Yes, it was. Now, that couldn't have been your first time singing in front of an audience.
No, you know, then it has to go back to, I think it's unfair, but church gets a lot of credit for producing a lot of people with talent. You know, you get the opportunity if you're a kid to perform in front of people, and if they're nice, they'll say, "Hey, that's a good job." And if they're not, they'll tell you the truth. Okay, and it must have been nice because they let me keep doing it. So,
well, I have to tell you, you did a fantastic job in the play. I was very impressed. I have to tell you that. Now, you were also in a short film recently.
Yes, A Knock at the Door.
A Knock at the Door, directed by Tisha Tyler.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I played Joshua. I played a husband. His wife was cheating on him.
Wife was cheating on him.
You know, I liked the role. I liked my co-star, but I hated the fact that I was being cheated on.
Yes, sir. That was a very powerful play.
You know, that
film rather.
Yes, that film was good because it deals with reality, and it wasn't just like my wife went out and just found somebody on the street and cheated. It dealt with having friends, and, you know, in your life that you get so comfortable with, and they come over the house at all times of the day or the evening, and they're just friends. And then your wife, who you can take for granted, especially if you've been married a number of years, and you take her for granted. So you start taking your wife for granted. You're treating her as common. She's not special. She's not the apple of your eye. You know, your heart doesn't stop when you see her, when she speaks anymore, and someone else pays close attention to it. What happens is they begin to fill voids that you're not filling, and that's something that's very common that can happen. And although it was a short film, it taught me a lot how not to take for granted, you know, the ones that I have in my life, and to cherish them, because it's the old saying, what you won't do, the next man will.
Sure will, absolutely. Now, there were some great actors in that film, too. There was Andra Jacques, who we interviewed here on the show a few months ago. And there was Charles Bruce.
Yes.
Mark Henry.
Yes.
It must make it a lot easier when you're working with very good actors.
I don't know about easier. It's like playing with good basketball or baseball players.
Okay.
When you play with when you act with other actors that are at the same caliber, it makes it really tough because they hit their lines and they're throwing in a little extra improv and they're making their scene that much more better. So you have to bring your game up.
Right.
If they were novices, then you could be like, okay, they're rookies, they're beginners. But all of them were so skilled, it was like, wow, okay.
So did you feel pressured that, wow, I need to bring my A game?
Not pressured, but what I felt was I had to go beyond the pages of the script. And I really had to embrace the character. And what I had to do was to make the character come to life. And the more you can take a character and own it, then the more the audience or who's ever viewing it will say, that's you. Although that person can be so far from your character, so far from your personality, but if you own that role, then they won't believe it. They'll think that's you.
Right, absolutely. You know, I hear a lot of soap opera actors say that, you know, like they'll play some villain in a soap opera and they'll be out in public and somebody will come up to them and swear.
Happens all the time.
You know?
Because they owned it. It's like, well, we know Denzel Washington got an Academy Award for Training Day.
Training Day.
And if you know the character the person is, that is so far from his character. Betrayal, deceit, dishonoring the integrity of law enforcement, you know. But in order for him to be that man, he had to transform who he was. So he couldn't smile like Denzel smiles. And he couldn't walk like cool Denzel walked. He had to be a mean, down, dirty, nasty guy in order for you to feel, in order for you to hate the character that he played. Of course, he achieved the goal.
Absolutely. Sure. Now you just mentioned this mean, dirty guy that Denzel portrayed in Training Day.
Yes.
Now you're a Christian brother.
Yes, I am.
Yes, sir. So how does that affect the type of roles that you choose? Could you play a character like this?
I don't think I can now. I think as all believers, we have to evolve to the point to where whatever we do for work is not who we are. But in acting, sometimes in order to portray a character, you have to get inside and you have to become that character. And there's some people I just cannot become. Like I can't become a mass murderer. You know, although it's a character and it's acting, it's not me. In order for me to portray that character and for that character to be believable, I have to become that. And that's not something I want to get into. You know, it's like the guy who played the Joker. Sometimes you can get so far into a character that you lose who you are.
Right. Keith
Ledger. Right. And so I don't want to take a role that I have to get so far into that I lose who I am.
Right.
And I want to maintain a little bit of who I am.
Absolutely.
So that's hard. So sometimes I'll have to say no to some roles.
Now you mentioned the mass murderer and you mentioned the Joker. Are there any other kind of roles that you would
Not in particular, but I just like things that would just draw me away so far. Because in order for you to really be that person, you kind of got to walk it, you got to talk it up before you film it. So if I'm going to, let's say I take it as a stalker, as a case study, I may have to either interview a stalker, I may have to do some stalking myself, just in order for me to embody the kind of quirks that a stalker does, the tendencies. In order for me to get that right, I'd have to learn that. And there's some things I just don't want to learn. I don't want to fill myself up with those things, and I don't know. It'll have to be on a case by case, trial.
Now I know in other cities they have like a lot of Christian-based theater. Do you feel like there's enough Christian-based roles here in San Diego?
I don't think roles. I think directors and writers. See, they're not writing enough material for Christians.
Okay.
I'm sure there's a lot of work for Christians, just like there's a lot of work for anyone else. But who's writing that material that has a happy ending? An ending that would, let's say, bring someone to the altar, or would cause you to think, what if I did something different? Tyler Perry makes a good comedic approach at things from a Christian perspective, but it's kind of skewed. There's really not that something that brings like a change or transformation where you watch a film and you go, you know what? I've seen this film and I want to be different. I want to be. I'm not liking who I am. I want to change. I don't see that from writers and directors. There may be a lot of Christian actors out there. Maybe a lot of roles that nice guys can take. But who's writing those scripts and who's directing those films? And that's what I'm not seeing.
All right. Well, I have to think about that when I pin my next script. I have to think about that.
You have the control. It's your mind that we're bringing to life. It's your thoughts as a writer or director that you put on paper and the actors take it and we bring it to life. So we take your imagination, what's in you, and we make it come alive. So it all starts with you.
All right. I will take that to heart. So, sure there are a lot of people out in our audience who are saying, wow, I would like to act like Dee Sham. Dee has been in community theater, he's been in short films. What advice would you give to someone who's interested in breaking into acting?
I would say don't take anything for granted. Don't take any opportunity for granted. If you are a singing telegram, you want to be a singing telegram. If you want to do jingles, if you want to act in the Easter play, if someone has some little funny thing they want you to, at a thrift sale, act out, be a mime, do whatever so that you know how to get in and out of yourself, because you have to master being someone different. You know, you can't bring to the screen you every time.
Right.
And one time you have to be Bob, but in the next screen you have to be Joe. Whether it's you have to cut your hair, dye your hair, put on a whole bunch of weight, lose a whole bunch of weight. So we've seen Tom Hanks, some of the great actors, how they transform their whole being in order to embody that role of that character. So if you want to choose acting as a profession, you got to get used to not being yourself. You got to get used to being somebody else. Get used to that.
All right. Sounds like you were very serious about your craft. And as a director, I can tell you I like that.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Well, Dee, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Nice to talk to you, and we'll have you back again.
I appreciate that.
Look
forward to it.
All right. And this is Metroworld Entertainment Television.
Today, about 1 in 5 Americans is living with a disability. Over 50 million people, including many of our friends and neighbors, teachers and co-workers, heroes and leaders. 20 years ago, the Americans with Disabilities Act guaranteed every person the right to live, work, and participate fully in the American experience. We've come a long way since then, and we are committed to making even more progress in the years ahead. Visit disability.gov to see how you can help.
How you doing? My name's Steve. My family's lived in this neighborhood for years. Recently, things got so tight, we had to go to our local food bank for help. I lost a lot of sleep worrying about what the neighbors might think. That is until I saw them there, too. How'd I do, Steve?
A little stiff. You could have done a little better.
What? Come on. You know, I have an Academy Award.
Yeah, but not for playing me.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org and find your local food bank.